Afternoon, Earthlings. Arthur Gorman here, interstellar historian, fashion icon, and the only being in the galaxy who still thinks vinyl is a solid data storage medium. Today we're cracking open one of the weirdest, wildest, most gloriously dysfunctional double albums ever pressed by carbon-based lifeforms. The Beatles White Album. Released in November 1968, this thing is 30 songs long, has a completely blank white cover, and somehow still manages to contain both pure genius and the musical equivalent of four guys arguing in a kitchen while the microwave is on fire. Let's talk history. It all starts in early 1968. The Fab Four jet off to Rishikesh, India, to study transcendental meditation with the Maharishi. They're trying to find inner peace, expand their consciousness, and probably escape the fact that being the biggest band on the planet is starting to feel like a full-time hostage situation. They write a mountain of songs while sitting cross-legged and trying not to giggle. Then they come home, look at each other, and realize peace is nice and all, but somebody still has to produce the actual record. And that somebody is about to have a very long year. Recording begins at Abbey Road in May 1968 and stretches into October. This is not the lovey-dovey, all you need is love Beatles anymore. This is for extremely talented, extremely exhausted men who have discovered that success, marriage, and Yoko Ono in the studio can turn even the best of friends into competitive songwriting gladiators. John is bringing in avant-garde noise experiments. Paul is writing perfect little pop songs and insisting on doing them his way. George is finally getting more than 2 tracks per album and is not about to waste the opportunity. Ringo is just trying to keep the peace and not quit the band. He does quit for 2 weeks, then comes back because, well, being a Beatle is still better than most jobs. The result is a double album, so packed it needs its own gravitational field. You got pure rockers like back in the USSR and Helter Skelter, delicate beauties like Blackbird, and Julia, pure weirdness like Revolution 9, which still confuses me, and I've heard every frequency in the known universe, and Ringo's adorable Don't Pass Me By. It's messy. It's brilliant. It's a sound of a band falling apart in the most creative way possible. And they put it all in a plain white sleeve because, honestly, after that many songs, who has energy left for a fancy cover photo? Now we have to talk about the part that makes even an alien historian raise an eyebrow. A gentleman by the name of Charles Manson became extremely obsessed with this album. He decided that songs like Helter Skelter, Piggies, and Blackbird were secret coded messages about an impending race war that he and his followers were supposed to help kick off. Spoiler alert from the Andromeda sector. They were not. They were just 4 British guys writing songs about sliding down a Helter Skelter. That's a British slide, not a race war, pigs and birds. Humans have an extraordinary talent for hearing exactly what they want to hear in a piece of art. Sometimes that leads to beautiful interpretations. Sometimes it leads to absolute catastrophe. Manson's obsession is one of the darkest footnotes in popular music history, and it had nothing to do with what the Beatles actually intended. Back to the music. Despite all the tension, or maybe because of it, the White Album is stuffed with moments of pure magic. While My Guitar Gently Weeps features Eric Clapton casually dropping by to play the solo like it's no big deal. Sexy Sadie is John's polite way of saying, thanks for nothing, Maharishi. Obla-dee Obada is Paul being so cheerfully catchy that John reportedly wanted to throw a chair at him. Classic band dynamics. When it hit the shelves in November 1968, it went straight to #1 pretty much everywhere. Critics were divided. Some called it a masterpiece. Some called it self-indulgent. Fans just played it until the grooves wore out. Over the decades, it's been reissued, remixed, analyzed, argued about, and still sounds fresh. Not bad for a record that was basically a very expensive group therapy session set to music. So what's the final alien verdict? The White Album is gloriously imperfect. It's the sound of 4 young men realizing they're no longer a single unit, but 4 distinct artists who still, somehow, make magic when they share a studio. It's messy, it's ambitious, it's occasionally ridiculous, and it's one of the greatest albums ever made. And if you ever meet a human who claims every song on it is a secret prophecy, slowly back away and put on Rocky Raccoon instead. Trust me on this one. This has been Arthur Gorman, reminding you that history is rarely neat, frequently loud, and almost always better with a good soundtrack. Until next time, stay curious, stay weird. Peace, love, and proper track sequencing.